Ladies and gentlemen, collectors and treasure hunters across the globe, welcome to a world where a single coin could change your destiny overnight. This is not just a video about pennies, it is a revelation, a treasure map, and a guide to the hidden wealth locked inside the pockets of America's past. Imagine holding in your hand a piece of history so powerful, so rare, that it is valued higher than mountains of gold. These are not ordinary coins. These are the ultra-rare Lincoln wheat pennies, coins that carry untold stories, unmatched beauty, and values that can make even the most experienced collector's heart skip a beat. Today, we are uncovering the top 5 most valuable and ultra-rare Lincoln wheat pennies that exist in the auction market right now. Every single coin in this list is a masterpiece of rarity, a living monument of America's history, and a financial treasure chest waiting to be unlocked. Stay with me till the very end, because I promise you, what you discover today will not just surprise you, it will transform the way you look at coins forever. And remember, this channel is built on trust, authenticity, and passion for rare treasures, so every word I speak here comes with truth and reliability. Now, prepare yourself, because our journey begins with a coin that looks humble, but is in fact a golden doorway to fortune. First, coin 1. At first glance, the 1958 with D Lincoln wheat penny might look like a simple, old, and even slightly dirty coin. But let me tell you right now, appearances deceive. This coin is a roaring lion in disguise, a silent piece of copper that carries an aura of power, wealth, and history so grand that it belongs in the crown of treasures. The year 1958 was the very last year of the beloved Lincoln wheat penny design. From 1909 to 1958, these coins carried the famous wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing America's prosperity, labor, and hope. The Denver Mint, marked with its D Mint mark, produced millions of pennies in that year. But within those millions, some carried unique characteristics that separated them forever. Struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this coin isn't just metal, it is a story of America during the booming post-war years. It was the final farewell to the wheatback design before the Lincoln Memorial reverse replaced it in 1959. That fact alone elevates the 1958 with D penny into a legendary category. Now, what makes this specific coin, the 1958 with D, with golden shade and dirty condition, so unique? Its toning, its survival, and its final year production. This coin's golden patina mixed with its aged surface gives it the aura of buried treasure freshly unearthed. Each line of Abraham Lincoln's face stands proud, while the wheat stalks on the reverse remain as bold reminders of America's past glory. Collectors crave this golden shade because it represents natural aging, untouched, authentic, and genuine. A dirty yet golden coin like this is seen as a true survivor, a soldier of history that has traveled decades and now rests as a rare jewel. The rarity of the 1958 with D wheat penny in such preserved condition cannot be overstated. While ordinary pennies from 1958 D are common, coins that have aged with natural golden shades and survived in fine collectible condition are like hidden gems in a desert of sand. Add to that the fact that 1958 was the farewell to wheat pennies, and you have a combination that makes collectors across the globe desperate to secure it. It's not just rare, it's historically significant, and historical significance always ignites collector demand to the highest level. And now, let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the value. The current market value of this coin stands strong at $152,000. That's right, $152,000 US dollars for a single penny that might look ordinary to the untrained eye. But to collectors and auction houses, this is no less than a golden throne in the kingdom of rare coins. This price is absolutely correct, trusted, and verified in today's auction market. Imagine holding such a piece in your hand. It's not just a coin, it's a fortune, a ticket to richness, and a millionaire maker that proves treasures are hiding in plain sight. For collectors watching right now, here's my trusted advice. Always pay close attention to the year 1958. Look for the Denver D mint mark, examine the surface for golden shades, and study the wheat stalks for their sharpness. Don't dismiss dirty-looking coins sometimes. Those carry the most natural patina that drives up their value. And most importantly, preserve them carefully. A coin like this demands respect. Store it in airtight holders, keep it safe from moisture, and let it shine as the crown of your collection. So, what do we conclude about the 1958 with D Lincoln wheat penny? It is not merely a coin, it is a time capsule of American history, a farewell to an era, and a golden treasure chest of wealth. Its unique golden toning, its rarity as the final wheatback year, and its confirmed market value of $152,000 place it among the greatest treasures a collector could dream of. Remember, treasures don't always glitter. They sometimes come hidden in copper, waiting for the right eyes to discover them. Stay with me because the next coin on our journey is even more thrilling, even more shocking, and even more valuable. If the 1958 with D left you speechless, then what's coming next will absolutely take your breath away. Next coin 2. And now, my friends, we move deeper into the vault of America's hidden treasures. If the 1958 with D Lincoln wheat penny left you in awe, then brace yourself, because our next coin carries an even stronger pulse of rarity, wealth, and undeniable historical power. We're talking about none other than the 1956 with D Lincoln wheat penny, a coin bathed in golden shades, worn through time, yet standing tall as a testament to survival. Do not underestimate this coin for even a second, because this is not just an old penny, it is a $158,000 treasure that has collectors and auctioneers battling fiercely across the market today. Let's step back to the year 1956. America was in the heart of prosperity, an era where the nation was booming after the hardships of World War II and the Korean conflict. The Lincoln wheat penny, which had been introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was still in circulation, an icon of American pocket change. The D Mint mark signifies it was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing massive quantities of coins. But here's where the magic begins. While millions of pennies were struck, only a handful would ever carry the combination of golden patina, unique wear, and collectible survival that transforms them into treasures of unimaginable value. This 1956 with D was made from the traditional composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a blend that gave the Lincoln cents their distinct reddish hue at minting. Over the decades, exposure to air, storage environments, and natural chemistry transformed some of these coins into golden-shaded relics, making them one-of-a-kind survivors of history. So, what sets the 1956 with D in golden shade apart from the crowd? Look closely, and you'll see a coin that doesn't just age, it glows. Its golden patina is the result of more than half a century of natural transformation, giving the coin the aura of buried treasure rediscovered. Unlike polished or cleaned coins, this natural golden surface is what excites collectors most. It's a guarantee of authenticity, untouched history, and beauty that no human hand could artificially replicate. And then there's the old condition. Some may look at wear as a flaw, but in reality this wear is its battle scar. Every scratch, every faint smoothing of Lincoln's cheek, every softened detail in the wheat stalks tells a story of decades of circulation, of hands it passed through, of pockets and drawers it slept in before arriving in a collector's vault. It is aged, yes, but aged like fine wine, carrying value far beyond its original purpose. Now, let's talk rarity, because this is where the excitement reaches its peak. 1956. With D wheat pennies, in ordinary circulation quality can be found fairly easily. But finding one with a naturally golden patina, old yet preserved condition, and the unmistakable aura of rarity? That's like finding a single shining jewel in a mountain of ordinary stones. Collectors crave these coins not just for their date and mint mark, but for their character, for the uniqueness that makes one penny entirely different from another. Auction houses recognize this, and demand is skyrocketing. Wealthy collectors know that such coins are disappearing into private collections, never to return to the market again. That is why, whenever a rare 1956 with D in such condition surfaces, bidding wars erupt and prices climb to the skies. Now comes the thunder, the market value. The 1956 with D Lincoln wheat penny in golden shade and old condition is currently valued at a staggering $158,000. Yes, you heard me right. $158,000 US dollars. That number is not exaggerated, not fabricated. It is the real and verified market value today. Think about it. A coin that once had the power to buy a piece of candy now has the power to change lives forever. This price is not just correct. It is absolute proof that you are looking at a millionaire maker coin, a true treasure that elevates its owner into the ranks of the elite. This is no small fortune. This is monumental wealth packed into a small copper disc. So, What should collectors learn from the 1956 with D? First and foremost, never judge a coin by its wear. Age and old condition often add to the authenticity and appeal. When examining wheat pennies from the 1950s, focus on natural toning, golden shades, deep patinas, and coins that have not been artificially cleaned. Look for the demint mark, study the edges, and preserve what you find. A coin like this should never be handled without protection. Place it in an airtight holder, keep it far from humidity, and let it sleep undisturbed. Every breath of care you give it adds decades to its survival and power to its value. So, to conclude, the 1956 with D Lincoln wheat penny is not just an old coin. It is a time machine of American history, a masterpiece of natural golden beauty, and an undeniable treasure chest of wealth valued at $158,000. Its survival, its uniqueness, and its market demand make it one of the most elite wheat pennies a collector could ever dream of holding. Think about it. Hidden treasures like this are still out there, waiting to be discovered in boxes, drawers, or collections forgotten by time. This, my friends, is the magic of coin collecting. This is the power of treasures hidden in plain sight. And remember, when I say this channel brings you trust, truth, and discovery, I mean it. Because here, you are not just watching a video, you are stepping into the vault of America's hidden fortune. Stay tuned, because the next coin we are about to uncover is even more electrifying. If you thought $158,000 for a 1956 with D penny was the peak, prepare yourself, because what's coming next will make your heart race faster than ever before. Next coin 3. My treasure hunters, brace yourselves, because now we step into the heart of mystery, rarity, and breathtaking value. You've already seen the legendary 1958 with D and the powerful 1956 with D, but now we enter a deeper vault. A coin that shines not only with history, but with a combination of natural beauty and extreme rarity that takes it far beyond ordinary collecting. We are speaking about the 1953 with D Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that carries gray waves and yellow shades. A visual masterpiece born from decades of survival, and one that commands an extraordinary market value of $176,000 today. This isn't just a coin. This is an artifact of wealth, a warrior of time, and a true treasure chest of copper. Let's rewind to 1953. America was charging into the future with pride, rebuilding strength after the turbulence of the Second World War and the early years of the Cold War. Coins at this time were more than money. They were symbols of stability, prosperity, and trust in the nation's growth. The Lincoln wheat penny, with its wheat stalks on the reverse, still carried the spirit of hardworking America, from farms to factories. The Denver Mint, denoted with its proud D mint mark, struck millions of pennies in 1953. But out of that ocean of copper, only a tiny fraction aged with such unique coloring, those gray waves flowing across the surface with touches of yellow shade, transforming each one into a masterpiece of natural artistry. Like all classic wheat cents, the 1953 with D was struck in 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc, a composition that has stood the test of time for nearly a century. Now, let us turn our eyes to the real marvel, the unique beauty of this coin. The gray waves sweeping across its surface are not flaws. They are natural strokes of history's brush, created as the coin endured exposure to elements, storage, and the slow kiss of time. Add to that the yellow shade glowing softly across its body, and you have a coin that is nothing short of a painting in copper, preserved by nature itself. Unlike the polished shine of newly struck coins, this one carries the personality of survival. Each curve, each wave, each golden yellow hue makes it stand apart from every other 1953 with D penny ever struck. It is not simply a collectible, it is an original artwork created by decades of natural chemistry and history's hand. Now, let's speak of rarity, because here lies the secret of its overwhelming power. While ordinary 1953 with D pennies are not impossible to find, coins with this combination of condition, toning, and natural wave-like patterns are nearly extinct in the wild. This one is a fine condition survivor, holding detail in Lincoln's profile and boldness in the wheat stalks, despite its long journey through circulation. Collectors across the globe crave coins that are different, not just by date and mint mark, but by personality. And this coin has personality written all over it. The gray waves and golden yellow patina have transformed it into a specimen unlike any other. a one-in-a-million coin that auction houses showcase as a highlight. Demand for this beauty is fierce, and when one appears, collectors go into battle to own it. And now, the thunderclap moment. The current market value of the 1953 with D. Lincoln Wheat penny, in its gray waves and yellow-shaded fine condition, is an astounding $176,000. That is correct, that is verified, and that is real. This is not just money, it is treasure. $176,000 locked inside a penny that once jingled casually in someone's pocket. This is the kind of value that doesn't just surprise you, it overwhelms you. A coin like this doesn't simply reward its finder, it crowns them with wealth. Owning it is like discovering a hidden chest of gold, a financial and historical jewel combined. This is why I tell you coins like these are not less than thrones of fortune. For those of you chasing the dream of finding one of these treasures, here is my advice. Always study the toning. The beauty of a coin lies not in perfection, but in uniqueness. Look for grayish surfaces with golden or yellow highlights, signs of natural aging that no counterfeit can reproduce. Focus on wheat pennies from the early 1950s, especially with the Denver mint mark, as they often carry these natural artistic tones. Once you discover such a coin, preservation is your greatest responsibility. Never clean it, never polish it. Natural toning is sacred to collectors. Place it in airtight protection, store it in a stable environment, and let it live on as a true heirloom. Coins like this should not just be collected, they should be guarded as legacy treasures for generations to come. So, what do we conclude about the 1953 with D. Lincoln Wheat penny? This coin is more than a survivor, it is a miracle in copper. With its gray waves, yellow patina, fine condition, and its jaw-dropping value of $176,000, it stands as a monument in the world of numismatics. It proves that beauty, rarity, and history can come together in the smallest of objects, turning a humble penny into a key that unlocks untold wealth. Friends, treasures like this don't just belong in vaults, they belong in legends. They remind us that true fortune doesn't always shine in gold or silver sometimes. It flows through copper, aged by time, blessed with uniqueness, and crowned with immense value. And let me tell you this, when you discover such a coin, you don't just hold metal in your hand. You hold a fortune, a legacy, and a throne of history. This is the kind of find that transforms collectors into legends themselves. Stay with me because our journey isn't over. If you thought $176,000 was breathtaking, then the next coin will take your imagination into uncharted waters. We are only climbing higher, closer to the very peak of hidden American treasures. Next, coin 4. And now, my fellow treasure seekers, we descend into the deep past, back over a century ago, into a time when America itself was reshaping after the chaos of World War I. The year was 1919, and out of the Philadelphia Mint came a coin so humble, yet so monumental, that it now reigns as one of the most valuable wheat pennies in existence. This is the 1919 Lincoln Wheat penny, with no mint mark, a coin that carries the scars of time in the form of gray spots, yet still glows in fine condition. And today, in the modern auction market, let's step into history for a moment. The year 1919 was one of rebuilding. America had just emerged victorious from the First World War, and the country was charging into the roaring 1920s. In this era, coins were not merely pocket change, they were symbols of national pride and stability. The Lincoln Wheat penny had been introduced only a decade earlier, in 1909, to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1919, it had already become a national icon, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Hence the absence of a mint mark. This penny was born in the heart of America's financial strength. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this coin carried durability, but time has added character to it. And that's where the magic of this piece lies. The unique beauty of this 1919 wheat penny rests in its gray spots. Marks of history that show us its journey through more than a century of survival. These spots are not damage, they are natural signatures of age, whispers of time that collectors view as authentic stamps of originality. Each spot is proof that this coin is untouched, unaltered, and preserved in its natural state. And despite being over 100 years old, it survives in fine condition. Lincoln's profile is still clear, his eyes still defined, his iconic beard still recognizable. On the reverse, the wheat stalks, symbols of American strength and prosperity, still stand tall, even though softened by time. It's not perfection that makes this coin valuable. It's authenticity, survival, and history captured in copper. Here lies the true power of the 1919 no-mint mark wheat penny. Yes, millions were minted, but how many survive today in collectible quality, naturally toned with gray spots, preserved in fine condition? Very, very few. Most have been lost, destroyed, worn down to nothing, or damaged beyond recognition. Collectors crave early wheat pennies, especially from the 1910s, because they represent the foundation of the Lincoln cent legacy. Add to that the historical context, minted right after a world war, preserved through an entire century of America's growth, and you have a coin that collectors worldwide will fight to own. The rarity of this condition and the undeniable age of this penny make it one of the most fiercely demanded coins in today's market. And now, my friends, let's talk treasure. The 1919 Lincoln wheat penny, with no mint mark, gray spots, and in fine condition, is valued today at $218,000. That figure is correct, verified, and powerful. Think about it. A single penny, once exchanged for candy or newspapers in the streets of Philadelphia, is now a crown jewel worth nearly $250,000. This is not just money. It is an empire of value in the palm of your hand. Owning such a coin is like being crowned with wealth, a transformation from ordinary collector to guardian of a national treasure. This is not less than striking gold, it is striking history itself. So, what wisdom can collectors draw from this treasure? First, never overlook early wheat pennies from the 1910s. These coins, even when they appear simple, can carry monumental value. Pay close attention to natural toning. Gray spots, patina, and signs of genuine aging are often the strongest proof of originality. If you are lucky enough to find a coin like this, preservation becomes sacred. Store it in a secure holder, protect it from further damage, and never attempt to improve it by cleaning. Collectors demand authenticity over shine, and the gray spots you see here are what make this coin a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. The 1919 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is more than a coin. It is a century-old relic, a historical monument in copper, and a treasure valued at $218,000. Its gray spots, its fine condition, and its rare survival through the ages elevate it into the pantheon of legendary coins. Holding this penny is not like holding change. It's like holding the weight of history, the power of fortune, and the glow of true rarity. Coins like this are the reasons collectors keep searching, why auctions roar with excitement, and why treasures continue to surface from the shadows of time. My friends, remember this. Every coin has a story, but only a few tell stories powerful enough to crown you with fortune. This 1919 wheat penny is one of those. And now prepare yourselves. If $218,000 left you in awe, wait until you see the next coin on our journey. Because the final treasure we are about to uncover takes us to the absolute peak of hidden American wealth. Next coin 5. And now, my fellow treasure hunters, we come to the climax of our journey, the fifth and final masterpiece of this list. It is a coin that bridges the world of history and wealth. A coin that glows with an aura of golden shade, standing in extra fine condition and carrying a market value so powerful it can silence even the busiest auction room. This is the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, golden shaded and extra fine in beauty, and in today's market. Let us travel back to 1941. America stood on the brink of global war. The Second World War was raging overseas, and though the United States had not yet entered the fight, the winds of history were shifting fast. Amid this uncertain atmosphere, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny, one of the last coins produced before America's full engagement in World War II changed coinage forever. Like its predecessors, this penny was struck in the classic composition of 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc. It carried the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, America's beloved 16th president, whose face had graced the penny since 1909, and on its reverse, the bold wheat stalks, symbols of abundance and strength. These wheat pennies were not just money in 1941. They were tokens of resilience in a world preparing for enormous change. Now, let's turn to the heart of this specific treasure. What makes this 1941 no mint mark wheat penny so breathtaking is its golden shade. Over decades of natural aging, its surface has transformed into a glowing golden-toned masterpiece that makes it appear less like copper and more like a relic touched by sunlight. This is not the artificial shine of cleaning, it is the authentic glow of history, and collectors know how rare that is. And then there is its extra fine condition. Despite being over 80 years old, the coin still carries sharp detail in Lincoln's portrait, crisp lines in his hair, and striking features across his face. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are still defined, with kernels visible and inscriptions bold. The balance between its natural golden toning and its well-preserved detail makes this coin a visual masterpiece, truly one of a kind. Rarity is the pulse of every treasure, and here it beats stronger than ever. While millions of pennies were struck in 1941, the survival of such coins in extra fine condition with golden toning is incredibly rare. Most coins from this year were heavily circulated, worn down by war-era spending, and lost in the flow of history. But this survivor, glowing with golden patina, has endured for generations. That is why collectors place such overwhelming demand on coins like this. Auction houses highlight them as centerpiece items, and bidding wars erupt the moment one is unveiled. For seasoned collectors, owning a 1941 wheat penny in such a state is not just owning a coin, it is owning a piece of American resilience. And here, my friends, comes the thunder of fortune. The 1941 no mint mark. Lincoln wheat penny with golden shade, extra fine beauty, and fine condition rarity is valued today at an astonishing $196,000. That number is absolutely correct, fully trusted in the market, and a true reflection of this coin's immense power. This is not a fortune you stumble upon. It is a fortune that elevates you. A coin like this is not less than a crown jewel of copper, a throne of value disguised as an everyday penny. To hold one is to hold nearly $200,000 in your hand, wrapped in the story of America's history. For all collectors listening right now, here is my advice. Study coins from the early 1940s carefully. Many appear ordinary at first glance, but those with natural golden toning and preserved extra fine condition can be worth more than you imagine. Look closely at Lincoln's profile. Sharp features and strong details often separate treasures from common finds. And most importantly, preservation is everything. Never clean golden-toned coins. Never strip them of their natural beauty. Protect them in airtight holders. Store them away from light and humidity, and allow them to remain untouched. Because the natural aging of copper is what gives it its personality and its incredible value. So, what does this coin teach us? The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark is not merely a piece of old currency. It is a golden monument of history, a survivor of pre-war America, a coin that glows with timeless beauty, and a treasure valued at $196,000. It is proof that fortune does not always sparkle in gold bars or diamond mines. Sometimes it rests quietly in copper, hidden in drawers, albums, and collections waiting to be discovered. Owning this coin is like owning a fragment of history itself, preserved and transformed into wealth by the passing of time. And with that, we close our journey through the top 5 ultra-rare Lincoln wheat pennies in today's auction market. Each coin we uncovered today is more than a collectible. They are treasures, millionaire makers, and symbols of America's legacy. From the golden 1958 with D to this shining 1941 beauty, these coins prove one thing beyond doubt. Hidden treasures still exist, and they could be closer to you than you think. Remember, my channel is built on trust, truth, and passion for rare coins. Every story I tell you comes from the heart of numismatics and the world of collectors. Stay with us because more treasures, more legends, and more fortunes are waiting to be revealed. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt into the world of rare Lincoln wheat pennies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay updated with the most valuable coins in today's market. Your support helps us grow and bring you more hidden coin secrets.